We're going to have a separate episode for notifications because notifications are a pretty big deal. But for the sake of this episode, we're just going to cover notifications on lock screens. Right away, one apparent difference is that on the Android system, you get the notification icons on the always on feature. So you know what apps you have notifications in, but no more details. If you get into the screen, if you tap and wake up the screen, you'll see your notification cards, as they call them in the Android system. The difference again here I have nothing because I have no recent notifications, and because notifications on the iOS system clear as soon as you unlock the phone here, they don't clear unless you clear them yourself or you get into the notification itself. Some people like this system because it's persistent and makes you get into your notification. This one, you lose your recent notifications as soon as you unlock the phone. But the surprise here is that you don't lose them actually. They just clear from the screen to make it a clean screen. And if you do want to access your notifications from the lock screen, all you need to do is swipe up and you get your notifications. And actually, you get a week of notifications. A very cool feature of notifications on the iPhone X is what they call discrete notifications. Discrete notifications, for privacy issues, hides the contents of the notification. So if we compare again here, it shows the beginning of the content of whatever notification you have, whether it's a message or a Twitter or a calendar entry or something. Here again, you get what they call discrete notifications. Because the phone is still locked, all I can see is that I have a text message. I have no idea what the content is whatsoever. So how do I access the contents of these discrete notifications? You peek into your camera and it recognizes you immediately, and it gives you all the content, all the details of the email, of the message, of the calendar entry, of the new piece of news. Pretty cool feature. Another cool thing about notifications, which I like more about the iOS, is what you can do with a notification on the lock screen. Right over here, you swipe to the left, you get a reminder or a snooze function, snooze for 1 hour, or undo, don't snooze, or a settings tab, which I have no idea what usefulness can come out of it on a lock screen, a calendar entry, snooze in the settings. And the funny thing is, whether you swipe left or right, you get the same functions. So if you swipe to the right, you get again your snooze and your settings. I don't know if this is made for people who are left-handed and right-handed, but I see it redundant and not that useful to have the same functions on both sides. And they're not very useful functions. They're just the snooze and the settings thing, which just gives you a toggle switch for turning on and off notification for this app, I think. On the other hand, if we get some of our earlier notifications here, again, they're discrete. If I look at them, I'll see the details, okay? Over here, you get different functions. So you can clear or view, but depending on what it is, for example, this is a WhatsApp message. Again, I can either clear or view, and then I can force touch and reply. Cool. Same thing with mail. I can force touch and mark as read and archive. Different functions depending on what the notification is related to. This is a messages one, so I can reply right from the lock screen, by the way. If you force touch over here, you get into your settings. So again, kind of redundant. So you get settings by swiping to the left, you get settings by swiping to the right, and you get settings by force touching. If you want to clear notifications, as we saw on the iPhone X, they clear by themselves once you unlock your phone. Or if you want to clear an earlier one, you just tap clear. Here you can clear it by either swiping all the way, like that, or by opening Control Center and then swiping, swiping all the way up and then clearing them all together, or as we said, one by one by swiping from the left all the way to the right, like that, or clearing all over here. Now we have a clean screen. But then once you clear all your notifications from the Android system over here, you have no access to your history of notifications. So now you open your Control Center, there are no notifications attached, there's no other gesture that will bring you earlier notifications, whereas here, if you swipe up from anywhere in the screen, as I told you, you'll get 1 week old of notifications in discrete mode until you show it to your face, and then you see more details. So I think notifications on the lock screen on the iOS is much smarter. You have more functions, you have more things you can do with them. You can reply from the lock screen, you can hide or show more details, and it's easier. You get more functions by swiping left and right, and you get a longer history, even though the recent ones get cleared easier.